All right, so now being 5:45, I'll call the Monday, August 14th meeting of the Plympton Board of Selectmen to order. This meeting is being cablecast by Area 58, but the minutes are always the official record of the meeting. So first item on the agenda is under updates and discussion, Highway Department update. So we've got our Highway Superintendent, Rob Furlot, with us here tonight. So Rob, we'll turn it over to you.
So at the Highway Department, we dug a 200-foot electrical trench for the snack shack at the Dennett School. We dug a 200-foot trench.
There is a mic out there.
Oh,
There is a
do you
mic.
want me to come up to the mic?
Okay,
Bring
all
your chair,
right.
bring your chair too.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Rob, he
No,
asked
that's
me
all right,
that.
that's all right, that's all right. Let me grab a couple of papers just in
Yeah,
case.
and thank you for everyone out there. Some of us have old ears up here, so speak.
My young ears don't work so well either.
It also makes it easier for people when they re-watch the broadcast
At
later.
home.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
I gave you bad advice. I told
I'll
him to
stand,
sit
I'll
in.
stand. I feel better standing. So we dug a 200-foot electrical trench for the snack shack at the Dennett School for Pays. We dug a 200-foot water line out front for the Girl Scouts for the planter box, so they had water available. We put in 175 lineal feet of guardrail in the area of, I believe, 68 or 168 Grove Street. We ordered the forest green and gold signs for the entrance to Harry Park. The cost info board's been put up at the transfer station. The numbers show what it costs us to get rid of everything. Hazardous waste day went off pretty good. They were over about 11:30. That's when we reached our cap. I have the Chapter 90 project for Elm Street and Main Street approved for $360,000 worth of paving. I am using the highway construction to pave West Street from Polly's Triangle to just past Cross. That's estimated about $189,000. I've already ordered in 60 yards of loam, 70 tons of three-quarter dense grade material, and 32 tons of three-quarter stone for the paving projects that were there. After they pave, we can bring up the roads, sides of the roads back to where they should be. I updated the Beta Pavement Management Program, which I think you guys all saw. The break-even point for us, I don't know if anyone saw, it was about
That
$415,000.
That, I loved that document.
Yeah, it helps out quite a bit.
It was very cool.
Our overall score, road score, went up 3 points. I think it was like a 72 or something like that. We already entered into the Plymouth County Salt Sand Consortium, so we're waiting for them to do the bid work, to come back to us with who the bid winners are for the contracts. I'm working on having the EAP plan for the emergency action plan for the Winnetoxet Bridge updated. When that's updated, it will be sent to Mass DOT, and I'll provide you guys with a copy. I'm still having ongoing meetings with Mass DOT over the bridge. 2 of my employees have attained their CDL licenses and moved up in their job descriptions from laborers to equipment operators.
Yay.
Great, that's
Yes, they
good.
have all their licensing, which is huge. The pay-as-you-throw seems to be working pretty good. We've cut it almost in half, the expense it costs to run the town. Tonnage is down, I have that somewhere, so give me a second here.
Oh, that's great to hear. I think that's.
Yeah,
exactly
we're
what we're
averaging like 24 to 26 tons, where we were averaging 50 to 60 before.
Ooh,
Yeah, I have it
Wow,
if you want that. It's just like the basic printout.
significant.
I'm still working towards getting snowplows and subcontractors ready. I'm thinking about doing a minimum. Some of the other surrounding towns did that, and we lost a guy or two over it, and I don't want to lose again. Last winter was, for them, rough.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to pay for insurance that you didn't actually get any money back, so it wound up costing them to plow for us, and they didn't actually get to plow.
So what does the min mean? Like,
Minimum?
yeah, what would it be, like 4
I'm gonna-
hours or?
No, more like 20 hours or so. Kingston implemented that, and that's kind of, they found that to be like the break-even point for most people's insurance cost.
Is that a week?
What do you mean a week? No, 20 hours, period.
Okay,
Just
20
for-
hours
for
for the
the winter.
season.
For the season.
Gotcha.
If they, if they go over 20 hours, they get the rest, but if, whatever it
Gotcha.
is, the difference between what they work to 20 hours, that they will get.
Well, you're kind of in a pickle right now, aren't
Yeah,
you, for plowers?
we need them. Well, not yet. As long as most of my guys come back, I'll be good, but
Okay.
you gotta want them to keep coming back if they're not, if it's gonna be costing them money, because insurance changed last year or the year before, where they actually have to put like a rider on, and it costs them now. It used to just be a rider. So now it's,
Costs them actual money now. Okay.
yeah.
So how many guys would that be with a minimum of 20 hours?
13 to 14 subcontractors in total. Yeah, I know, it's kind of a scary sound, ain't it?
Well, that's a number where you feel like you need to be to
What,
handle
plow
it.
contractors or minimum rate?
Plow contractors?
Plow contractors, 14's ideal.
Okay,
12 is bare minimum.
okay.
Still working with Markings Inc. I'm trying to get like a line painting project together for the fall. Paint a little more than I normally do, or normally is done. Still working towards that. Been working on roadside mowing, getting the brush hog and the flail out there and the chipper, and it's that time of year. We had a heck of a growing season.
Right.
Nothing burnt off July, August like it normally did. It just kept growing
Growing,
and
growing.
growing, and yeah. And the flail, if it does a quarter mile in a day, you're doing pretty good. And there's like 70, almost 72 lane miles in Plympton. So factor in the time.
Long time.
Yeah, it takes a real long time to work on that. And then, so I guess that's my update for now.
And everything is going well with
Yeah.
the Winnetoxic project?
Everything's going well with the
and-
Winnetoxic. I met with them. Actually, I had John with me the day we went by, and they were there. I met with them over the utilities. They want to move the overhead utilities to the other side of the road to allow them to work. The bridge, as far as that goes, it's going to try to maintain the same dimensional aspect that it is. Wooden guardrails are going to be replacing guardrails on the road and the bridge. Paved deck instead of wood is going to be the biggest change. Probably a metal substructure underneath to support it, because the wood's obviously rotten. They're going to do small changes to the abutments to make it so they can secure the bridge structure better, I guess you could say. Any permitting or anything would be done through AECom from Mass DOT. They do all the notifications for the NOIs and anything like that, notice of intent, or the RDA, whatever that's called. Trying to think of anything else. Do you have any specific questions you might want me to answer on the bridge?
So just on the bridge, since I know it a little bit of a hot issue, or particularly people nearby concerned about it, I know one of the concerns that it was going to be wider, but it sounds like now it is not.
No, they don't want to have to do that because it would significant changes to the road itself, and they'd actually have to widen the dam, and there's just not a footprint there to do that.
Which is great, because I
Yeah.
think people that were concerned about the widening is that it would just let people go faster. And then another concern was the construction material, and as I understand it, it's still going to be wood.
The guardrails are still going to be wood. They're going to try to keep it as rustic as possible, but make it have a lifespan as opposed to the wood. The wood's,
So do you feel like they're hearing us as far as the rusticness and
for a
the
good portion of
style?
it, yes. Yes, for a real good portion of it, yes. I mean, you can't have like a wood deck. They don't want that. In the wintertime, it's hard to plow it. You can't sand it properly because the fasteners that are there are steel. It rots them out. So, yeah, they want the asphalt, and it would make it easier for us too, long-term, and less expensive for the town to maintain.
Great. It sounds like a fair number of the concerns should be assuaged.
I hope so, and if anybody has any questions, please direct them to me, and I'll do the best I can to walk them through any of the plans that I have or any questions they might have.
We have the
Come along.
public hearing coming up.
We do have the
so
public hearing coming up. I don't know what the date is. I didn't write that down at the moment. I mean,
It's
I can
another
get, I
week
can get
or two,
back to you with
I
that.
No, we've got it.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be, it'll be
okay. I
advertised,
didn't know
I'm
if you wanted
sure,
it to be.
in the paper and.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
The line for the Girl Scout Gardens, thank you. That was
More than
good.
welcome.
Yeah.
More than welcome. I think Mike's still working on the
Yeah, there's a
faucet
plumbing
needs to
issue,
be
but
rebuilt or something. The
We'll get a
frost
plumber to
freeze
fix
and-
that, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole fields, I saw the Recreation Committee up at the
Yep.
National Day Out, and
Yeah.
they were really pleased. They look great.
They do look good. They've done a real
Really
good job bringing
Yeah.
the fields back to what they should be.
Well,
Well,
that's
we
a lot-
mow it,
you-
but
you guys help them.
seed and
Yeah.
fertilizer goes
Right.
a long way, and need
Saw
a
a
good
note
base to have a
from,
good finish.
Katrina on the Recreation Committee, the Harry Jason Park signs going in next
Yeah,
week.
I was supposed to meet with her today, and I didn't get the opportunity.
Okay. But
But
there's a
she's-
little tree clearing. Are you going to do that, or?
Yes, we are.
that you're
I'm
gonna
going
do?
to make
Okay.
it, I'm going to try to make sure everything's done by the end of this week, because Monday they're installing the sign. So that way there, everything should be cut back and trimmed up for them.
So you were going to be my rave, but I'll do it now. That was, I think it's great that you're working with the recreation. I think you've really made a lot of progress around town.
Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, it's Team Plympton at the end of the day. We're all living in the same town. It's all about.
We still have in for the line on Grove Street, right?
Yes, we do. That was part of dealing with markings. They were
Okay.
supposed to come out, and then they were supposed to come out, and I think you know where I'm going with this. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to see if I can put together a whole line painting project and incorporate that into it and just move to a.
No, I'm
Somebody that will
very
come in.
pleased. I think we're making good progress.
No, I agree, yeah.
Good.
Are
It's
you
our busy
happy
t-
with
Yeah.
the team and how everything's going?
Yeah, my guys, for the most part, work really good together. I mean, they are a group of guys, so there is the days where somebody's a little, but on the whole, it's great. I mean, they get along awesome. They're always happy, laughing, working, which is huge.
Good.
And
We
having,
like working.
huh?
We like working.
Yeah, I do too. I was brought up, you gotta work. You know.
The transfer station's going well?
Yeah, everything's going well. Like I said, we were down on tonnage. It's almost in half. Solid waste, mainstream waste, which is huge. That's the biggest, I guess you could say, expenditure for the transfer station is solid
That's
waste.
your budget next year?
I think that was part of the plan, was to bring it back down into proportion for it.
Great, Rob.
Yeah, well done.
Do you have any other questions, anything on the Jake
About-
breaks, or?
How about not yet, but
Okay.
next? So is there anything we can do to help you?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
everything's going good. If I needed help, I would absolutely reach out.
All right, good,
You're
yeah,
going to stay for the Jake discussion, right?
Yeah, I'll stay. Yep.
Yep.
okay.
Am I good?
Excellent, you're good. Thank you, Rob, very much. That was great.
done.
Yeah, well done. We get a lot of positive feedback about the cemeteries and all the work you guys are doing around town. So people notice and they appreciate it,
I'm
so.
still working on the cemetery expansion. I'm waiting for Rob Votrino to finish the plans for that, which has been.
Did you
taking some
push him?
time. I feel bad pushing Alan. Alan's a great human being.
Oh, Rob, I mean,
Huh? Oh, yeah, I've tried calling him and left some
Oh,
messages.
Rob's not?
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't push Alan, but go ahead and push Rob.
Ellen had a heart attack. We don't want to have.
I know, we don't want to push Alan, that's right. All right, thank you, Rob, very much.
you're welcome.
Okay, so now we're on to the engine brake discussion, and we've got Rob here to join us. Are you Tori? Beck? Okay, all right. So this was a topic that Tori Devonshire asked us to explore. I think Mark's got the letter that Tori provided, so we'll just read it in so that you're aware why we're discussing it tonight.
All right, so this is an email dated March 27th. There have been subsequent emails asking how to move this along, and from Tori Devonshire, Brook Street resident. Good morning, Select Board. I'm writing to you to propose an initiative to ban Jake brakes on Brook Street. As we know, truck traffic on this road is very high, drawing various due to various routine truck routes, the spring water collection is multiple trucks per day, and ad hoc projects that have drivers of 18-wheelers using Brook Street as a cut-through to Kingston, Carver, and Middleborough. The noise from the Jake brakes that these vehicles create 7 days a week from as early as 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. is intrusive not only to residents but our native community wildlife's environment. For example, as recently as last month, the deer that frequent our property were passing through and frightened by passing truck, resulting in a deer leaping into the road and getting clipped by a passing car. As a result, the deer had to be humanely dispatched by gunshot by our police department. This is the third deer I'm aware of being hit in the vicinity of our property address in the last year. We have also found deceased owls, geese, turkeys, and of course, or turtles, and of course turkeys. So much of our town consists of fragile wetlands which provide an environment wherein our natural wildlife is drawn to inhabit. The noise and the dangers that these trucks create are detrimental to our animal habitants and also detract from the peaceful, quiet town that we all that we are all attempting to preserve. My ask is if there is a way to motion to ban the use of Jake brakes on Brook Street in Plympton, similar to our neighbor towns of Kingston and the like, wherein vehicle noise that emanates from more than 50 feet is prohibited. Thank you for your consideration of this ask. Sincerely, Tori Devonshire.
Thanks, Mark, for reading that in. So once we got the letter, we started working on this. Rob's been involved in these discussions as well. The town administrator, Elizabeth Dennehy, reached out to Old Colony Planning Council, who in turn reached out to Mass DOT. And basically what they've come back with is that it would not be any action that the town were to try to take to ban the engine brakes is not enforceable. So while we certainly agree with the things that Tori said, and they're absolutely a nuisance, and it's not just on Brook Street, this happens on Mayflower, Spring Street, really Prospect, any of the roads in Plympton, because basically we're a cut through to all the communities around us. So it's not just a Brook Street problem, it's really a Plympton problem. So what they had, Old Colony Planning Council had gotten back from Mass DOT is that, I'll read it, engine braking requirements for commercial vehicles are set by the US DOT, and engine braking systems are now mandatory equipment on newer commercial vehicles. For these reasons, it is our understanding that Mass DOT cannot legally post signs restricting the use of engine braking on our interstates or other highways. Nor, as we understand it, can the legislature or municipal governments enact any laws, ordinance, or restrictions limiting the use of engine braking on any streets or highways within Massachusetts. Even if the signs were installed, in spite of this, the braking restrictions would not be enforceable by police. Chapter 85, Section 2 of the Mass General Law gives towns the authority to post certain traffic control devices on town ways without Mass DOT approval, as long as they are consistent with the department's current manual on uniform traffic control devices, and this would not be considered standard. So it's certainly frustrating that it's not something that we can legally take any action, but that doesn't mean there's not anything that we can do. So, any suggestions?
Yeah, I do have a suggestion. When I first read the information that town admin gave us last week, that towns do go ahead and put up signs banning the use, fully recognize that it's not enforceable. And my knee-jerk reaction was, no, it's kind of not an honest thing to do. But I wondered if there was some middle ground on this, like potentially creating a sign. What I'm going to say next is too wordy, but something along these lines, a sign that said something like, truckers, please limit the use of Jake brakes in Plympton residential areas. So that is not law, it's not a ban, but and it's not enforceable, but it really is just requesting them, and how they proceed from them is up to them. That's one piece. Just to add another piece to this, we did try maybe 2 years ago to see what we could do about banning trucks from non-state highways. And so many of our back roads are used as cut-throughs to save 2 or 3 minutes, and then we have big, huge trucks going down Main Street, streaming down Prospect Street. So we tried that a couple of years ago, and we ran into all kinds of problems to do any of those bans of trucks from non-state roads would require cooperation from surrounding towns. We did not have a lot of luck with that 2 years ago. I think particularly this fall, when we get up to full speed, I think it's worth another go at that, and maybe seeing if there's some way we can be a little more persuasive with our fellow townspeople to give us a handle on that, which I think, of course, is the bigger solution. Like, the trucks shouldn't be on some of those roads anyway. In the meantime, and recognizing that it's a long shot that we're going to be able to ban trucks, I would propose a sign with language something like what I just said.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I sort of was on the same wavelength with you, Mark, of a sign that might say, you know, truckers, please significantly reduce the use of Jake brakes in residential areas. I don't see us putting up signs that say you can't use Jake brakes. I think it would lead to, one, people would then say, well, they're still using them, let's enforce it. The police don't want to enforce something that isn't legal. So it's just not going to work. So I think Mark's suggestion is right on. As far as the roads that, getting trucks off, like Main Street, I think that was the one that stuck in my mind, moving it to 58. You know, it's going to be hard for a surrounding town like Halifax to say, yes, bring more traffic down 58 to us. I think there might be some way, though, of pulling Kingston, Halifax, Cobb, the towns that touch us, and talk about some sort of reciprocal agreement, where maybe, you know, we give and they give. And I think that would be worth it. I think that's in line with what Mark was saying, and I think we ought to at least give it a shot.
Yeah, approach it more regionally than, because it's not just a Plimpton problem. It's
Right.
a regional issue.
Right. And they're probably sitting there saying, we got the same problem on
Right.
certain roads.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea for the fall, maybe September, October, once we.
I'd love to see Mark take charge of that.
Yeah, this is,
You nominate Mark?
Yes.
I'm pretty passionate about this one, and I love irritating truckers, so.
Perfect.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I don't care about irritating them, but yeah, I agree with you about some signage. I think we just need to come up with something, whether it's, you know, humorous or serious. My thought was like, maybe enjoy your ride through Plympton. Please, no engine brakes, so our residents can enjoy it too. I mean, anything, just.
The big sign.
It, you know, it is something where, why don't we try that?
Yeah.
And see if we can get any traction.
Yeah, we'll get together.
Yeah, we'll get up, come up with
a sign idea.
some sign ideas and start getting them posted, and maybe the format of the signs too, where it's not super cost
Yeah.
prohibitive or permanent,
Yeah.
and just see if
Take a
we can
shot.
make a difference.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe, I was totally kidding about irritating truckers, but I do recognize if instead of going down Main Street, they stay on 58 and then turn on 106, it probably adds another 5 minutes, and they're trying to make a living. But it is a quality of life thing in this town, and so many of those trucks going through are just cutting through this town. So it wouldn't be a big deal if we were able to get the ban, and would really help out the town.
Yeah, I agree. And those streets and roads are designed for truck traffic, where Upland, Prospect, Main Street, they're not. And there's overhang issues with trees and wires, and
Some of the roads are just plain non.
and they're just not wide enough, exactly, to accommodate these larger vehicles. So there's got to be a way where we can work with them, where they can travel the roads safely and still accomplish, get their job done, and we help preserve the quality of life for our residents.
Can you
So-
do just limited use of Jake brakes signs? Is appreciated, or
Yeah, I mean, something as simple as that.
I would
mean,
read
it
that
doesn't have to
before I saw
be
something like.
super wordy, but yeah, we'll get together, we'll have a powwow, and who's to say we have to come up with just one? We can use multiples, and as long as we get the message out that,
Is my
Yeah.
little hidden driveway sign?
Huh?
I've been noting my little hidden driveway sign where I put one up for my driveway, and then I'm everybody's noticed it. Hey, you have a sign now. Now we know it. I'm like,
It's new and shiny, not grown in yet.
Not all rusty?
because you mow it.
All right, so more to come on this. We'll keep this on our radar, and this fall, maybe have some powwows and see what we can do. Okay.
Good.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right, Rob, if you need to take off,
Ken's got a
If you don't
no,
mind.
go right. And thank you so much for coming in. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead, Ken.
I was asking a question which normally should be at the end, but it's about the highway department, and I was wondering if I'd be permitted to ask my question now.
Sure. Rob, are you okay with taking a question from Ken?
Okay, would you like me to?
Sure. Do you want to come up to the?
I took public speaking, but it didn't. Anyway, Ken Thompson, 61 Crescent Street and 55 Crescent Street. Been a resident of town for 20 years. 7 years ago, I bought 2 lots on Crescent Street and built a house and a barn on one, and the other one has been a built lot sitting. And during that time, in the last 3 years or so, there has been cat o' nine tails in a puddle next to the road that even the Conservation Commission admits is road runoff. And as a result of them designating this as a formal wetland, that's about 20 feet around, now has a 100-foot buffer around it, which has cut the property in half. The commission's peer reviewer said among their recommendations that one of which is to consider on the street constructing some type of a drain as a result of the runoff. I've met with the highway department, and there was agreement by a lot of parties in town that after the paving there 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
More than that,
Okay,
probably 6 or 8 at this point.
anyway, since I bought it, it's humped in the middle, and there's no gutters and no, when you go upland, there's those little asphalt speed bumps on the side which run the water down off of the lawns in front of the houses they're in. Upon inquiry, it was found out that that resulted from the contract with the paver of Upland Road versus the paver who did Crescent Street, apparently did not have that in their scope of work. And since that domed driveway road, 3 or 4 or 5 years of water have created a wetland where none existed. And it's caused a hardship, but the Conservation Commission is not interested in that. But interestingly, and my point is, their peer reviewer recommended if there was to be some control of what's coming down that upland from my house, John's house, it would have to go somewhere other than onto the property, and the peer reviewer recommended that the town put a basin or something like that. And lastly, I inquired how to get a strip of pavement down there, so it brought it down closer to the elbow where the river is. And it was unclear whether there was a budget for that, or, would I have to pay for it? But it's runoff, admitted by the Conservation Commission, admitted by the Water Department, Public Works Department, Highway Department, sorry, that it is a result of the paving of the road onto the property of water runoff. I don't know if you've ever had cases before, but it's taken a 2-acre buildable lot, according to Concom, and it's cut it into a 1-acre lot.
Well, it sounds like initially it's conservation to start with, and not sure if, we can try to work with,
I can get, I think Gene might still have a berm box. I can get a price on a berm box. The only thing I can say is berms are usually built into the roadbed when they're made. Putting one on after the fact, it won't have as long of a lifespan. It'll
Okay.
eventually fail because there's no asphalt underneath to support it.
well, I don't know if conservation is, it sounds like the peer review said that there's some action the town could take, but I don't know if the Conservation Commission is on board with that. So,
And I didn't mean to speak on their
no,
behalf.
no worries.
When the road was last paved, there was a berm? Was that?
Prior, no.
I-
Plympton relies on rural or country drainage throughout. I mean, Plympton's only got like 440 catch basins, period. And those, majority of them are on 106 Spring Street and 58. The most being 58.
And for the record, I'm aware of a neighbor who requested relief from the water on the other side of the road coming into their yard. And although it was smaller, apparently it was able to be helped by the town.
Well, why don't we look into this?
I can do that.
Yeah. So we can reach out to conservation and see if there's anything we can do.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, yeah.
I didn't want to hold up our friend, so
That's all right.
I know the question you're supposed to.
Perfect. So we'll be in touch, Ken. We'll see, reach out and see if there's anything we can do on this.
Thank you, Christine.
And thank you very much, Rob.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you guys for having
So
me.
long.
Yep,
You guys have a good one.
yeah.
All right, so next item on our agenda is we are going to be having a special town meeting, and this will be October 18th at 7 PM at the Dennett Elementary School. So as a result, I'll make a motion that we vote to open the warrant for the special town meeting tonight. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
And I'll also make a motion that we close the special town meeting warrant at 8 PM on September 11th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so if any boards or committees have warrant articles they need to submit, they need to have those in by September 11th, 8 PM, into the town administrator, and I believe that she had sent out an email to that effect.
Yes, she did to all.
Okay, perfect. All right, so next item on our agenda is an application for 15 one-day alcohol licenses, malt only, for Stellwagen Beer Company at Sawchuck Farm. And these are with the corn maze,
Yes.
correct? All right, and it looks like everybody was tip certified. We had all of that. And the insurance looked good
Yes.
to you?
Everything was fine on that.
All right, so the applicant is Michael Snowdale. Looks like he's from Marshfield. And these will be at the Sawchuck Farm location on 200 Center Street.
Yes. The
All right.
dates are
So we have everything,
September 16th, September 17th, September 23rd, September 24th, September 30th, October 1, October 7th, October 8th, October 9th, October 14th, October 15th, October 21st, October 22nd, October 28th, and October 29th.
okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4.
was one of those a Monday?
Yeah, what's the story with is that a holiday?
That's Columbus Day weekend.
Okay, Columbus Day weekend, okay.
Yes.
So that's on there too?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 15 dates. That's why it's
Okay.
15.
So it's
They
15
included that
dates.
third.
It's
I
1,
mean,
2,
weekend.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weekends. All right, and the time that they're requesting is a start time of 11:30, and they will be done at 6 PM.
That's what
And-
he's requesting,
Okay,
Christine. There might be a change in that from like a 1 to 5.
okay.
If you want to approve the 11:30 to 6, that's
Well,
fine.
who's going to request the 1 to 5, the police or him?
Him, he was working on how much the cost is,
Okay,
because detail
police
cost
detail.
versus. it
The
can
4
get
hours.
The 4-hour window
okay,
there when he goes over. It's still a rate of $87, even with a
Okay.
4-hour window,
okay,
because of the police contract that was
okay,
done. So it's not 58 for the first 4, it is 87 across the board, it's the weekend.
okay,
So I'm going to speak to him about the time, does he want to change it? And I did speak to Chief All.
and he was okay with
He wants a
this?
police detail every
As long
weekend,
as the
every
police
day.
detail is there for the coverage that
Right.
For
he's
the
open.
duration,
yeah.
exactly.
So he just might, if you want to vote this 11:30 to 6, and if he wants to change it from a 1 to 5 to be more cost-effective for
Sure.
himself.
Well, yeah, anything less would
Yeah.
be preferable.
So,
This would be the largest span of time, and he's
Yes.
probably gonna go with a 4-hour window
I think he's gonna do
within
it.
here.
yes.
Okay. All right, any concerns,
Um,
Mark?
No, I'm glad we resolved the detail issue, which was the stumbling block last year. And
Okay,
He did ask for the.
Okay.
and you're okay with this, John? Okay, okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that we vote 15 one-day alcohol licenses, and this is malt only, for Stellwagen Beer Company at Sawchuck Farm. This would be September 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th, 30th, October 1st, 7th, 8th, 9th, 14th, 15th, 21st, 22nd, 28th, and 29th, with a possible start time as early as 11:30 a.m. and a possible end time as late as 6 p.m.,
But no longer.
but no longer, right? Okay. Do we have a
is that
second?
a second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so next item, we've got an appointment of Sarah Grace Kelly to Open Space, and this would be, looks like effective immediately, until 6/30/2026. Any questions or
I don't know
concerns?
the lady, but
No,
anybody who
thrilled.
wants to volunteer, I'm all for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely thrilled.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll make a motion that we appoint Sarah Grace Kelly to the Open Space Committee effective today. That is August 14th, 2023, through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Bree, how about warrants paid?
30, yes. So these are gonna require a signature. That, and then this is just Christine on this one.
Okay.
Okay, and warrants paid are $77,160.38. $77,160.
What is it, insurance time again? Insurance renewal?
It's insurance time, people. It is insurance, and we've got insurance down, so we're doing great.
Well done, Bree, thank you. Yeah, anytime we can save
I
some money.
know, everyone's like, whoa.
Awesome. Okay, so on to correspondence. We've got from Eversource and looks like Eversource and Verizon. They're requesting one new pole, a Joe pole, J-O, I'm not sure what that is. 22/37.5 with anchor, and this is for 11 Maple Street, which is a new home, isn't it? So it's new installation.
This is for new electric service to the customer, 11
Okay.
Maple Street.
Yeah, so
See the map.
looks like we've got a plan and letters about the location. So they are seeking our approval to authorize them to make the installation. So any questions or concerns?
Yeah, I do.
You got a concern?
Not that.
All
I
right,
might
what-
want to put this on the table for a minute.
What's your concern?
It was just on the problem that they were even having to do a roadway in there. And my mother abuts this property, that's why.
So what is the?
Um, because they couldn't go in, they were having a problem with conservation.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
so,
Yeah, we should hold it then.
It should maybe hold this one.
yeah, okay.
Now that I see where it is.
All right,
That's the road on the left as you start down Maple?
Yes.
Okay, yep,
And
Okay.
this is actually before it.
okay.
all right, so we'll hold this issue. It looks like there might be some conservation.
The only reason I'm saying it is because of the name that's on here. So I don't know the proximity, if this is a little off. It's D'Angelo's, and it's this in here.
Okay, well, that's the
Okay.
Yeah,
question.
there's a
then.
little
All
question
right,
on
so
that
we'll
one.
ask, so we've got some questions on this. Do you have any questions on this too, Mark?
No.
Okay, all right, so we'll hold this one for our next meeting,
Yeah.
pending answering these questions.
That Mary Foreman doesn't own that.
All right, so our next piece of correspondence was Council on Aging. They were seeking, I think, permission to use a room for the nurse.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff.
All right,
See what-
I don't have the
Here it
letter
is.
from the Council on Aging. Do you want to read that, John?
Sure. On Wednesdays, the Council on Aging is happy to have the services of Nurse Pat Iafrades for either the Wellness Clinic, the first and third Wednesday of the month, or the Health Education Ask a Nurse session, the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. This email is to give you and the Board of Selectmen a heads up that we are hoping to host a health education session in the late fall, maybe October 25th or November 11th, to which the senior residents of our neighboring towns will be invited. The topic will be something like for the caregivers. I'll let you know more as the plans firm up. Colleen Thompson, Director of Elder Affairs.
So do we need to take any action on this, or is it mostly just an
kind of wanted
FYI?
us to know an FYI, and because she had other towns getting involved, she was going to try to merge it and ask if that would be okay.
I think we certainly support the visiting nurse.
Right,
I think
the
it's been
work they're
great.
doing, yeah, absolutely. So hopefully she'll get something in the
Get my blood
paper.
pressure taken every week.
Me too.
Ooh, you do too, yeah. How's yours?
A little high.
Mine is too. I'm going to clear it on the down.
Talk to you, and it's a little high.
Oh,
All right, so good stuff happening with the Council on Aging. I am also in receipt of a letter from Christine Kelly. Looks like that she's planning on going back to quarterly bills rather than the three times that she has been doing.
We were on quarterly. I guess I
I
missed
thought,
that.
yeah, we must have, it says, I wanted you to know that I've decided to return to quarterly billing for both real estate and personal property. Let's see, it's been a topic of discussion with many residents, and this year in particular, we have a large amount of outstanding quarter four bills from FY '23. Many taxpayers inadvertently throw them away without realizing that, or forgetting the fourth quarter payment is attached. Fourth quarter bill, I'm sorry, is attached. So I'm aware, but I believe we can make it work. The quarterly billing will begin with the actual bills, which are made up of the third and fourth quarter. So she's going to reach out to Deb Anderson and make sure that this is in the paper as well. And then she said if we had any questions or concerns, just to reach out to her.
So when does it start?
It says, doesn't have a date, it says that the quarterly billing will begin with the actual bills, which are made up of the third and fourth quarter.
I don't think I have an issue with it, but it seems like she ought to come in and talk to us.
All right, do you want to get her on our next agenda?
so I think she wants to go back to the four billing process, and she wants to start it on the third quarter when that goes out. You're going to get a third and fourth quarter bill now.
Okay, so the third quarter bill will include the fourth quarter
No, the
as
third
well.
quarter bill is going to be itself, and then she's going to send another one for the fourth quarter.
Gotcha, okay.
Because people were taking the bill, and because it's 2 in 1, thinking they were done, and then throwing it
Oh,
away.
okay, so we've
It
been
has it attached to it.
quarterly. It's just mailing it differently.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so we've been on the quarterly system. She's just going to mail them separately
Okay.
because people have been throwing it away.
All right, I'm fine
Okay.
with that.
They
All
never
right,
had that
good.
many.
Yeah,
Then we worked that one
including me.
out.
They were, But I'm gonna say that they were very good, and they, the list Tara put together, and they contacted everybody.
Good, okay, very good.
Yeah, which
So
was
you
really
okay with
good.
that?
Yeah.
All right, so it's just gonna be mailing them out separately. All right, we had, I thought we had 2 sets of minutes, didn't we have?
There are actually
7,
5
6?
sets of minutes,
5
believe it
sets
or
of
not.
minutes, okay. So do you want to start with the new ones, and then we'll do the old ones? Or do you want to do
Start
the
with the
old ones
old.
first?
I,
All right.
at your command.
Whatever you'd like to do. Why don't we go,
Okay,
start from the old?
first one is, there are 2 June 26 meetings. The first one was a day meeting. I wrote the minutes for that, so that's June 26th. And then another one, June 26th in the evening, and Bree wrote those.
Okay.
These have all been shared. And then there was the open meeting on July 6th, and July 16th, or July 6th, I wrote the minutes for that, and then July 24th, Bree wrote the minutes with that and has shared with us.
Okay, so
Let's do one at a time.
the 7-6 minutes, there's just one set of minutes?
Yes, one set on 7/6.
Okay.
I misspoke.
No, okay.
On 6/26, 2 sets of minutes, and then 7/6, and then 7/24.
Okay. All right, and I read the minutes. Did you
I
get a
did,
chance
yeah.
to read the minutes as well? Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes from 6:26, the AM meeting, 6:26 PM meeting, the 7/6 meeting, and the 7/24 meeting as written. Is that everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
well done.
All right,
I'll second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
John
so we're,
did the second.
we're
right?
current. Yeah, John did the second that time. Okay, so, we have reached the end of the meeting already. So our next meeting is going to be scheduled on 8/28, followed by 9/11. Did either one of you have anything you wanted to talk to us about?
I'm just really happy to second that noise is a problem on the streets, whether it's Jake brakes, trucks, or just excessive speeds.
Which street are you on?
I'm on Spring Street.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We got new windows, it didn't help. Like, it's just, it's a thing. So, any solutions, I'm happy to brainstorm. I just wanted to hear that part of the discussion.
sure. Why don't you give Brigitte your email address? And when we start to get together to talk about ideas, we can let you know, and you can certainly participate.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Did you have anything for us?
I'm from WETD, so I'm just here for a meeting.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so,
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Jill Johnston.
Thank you.
so now we're at the time for our raves before we close things down for tonight. So anybody want to go first?
So I got a rave for Plimpton Night Out, not Plymouth. I don't know if you either had, we had the flag that's flown at Mount Rushmore. In fact, it's been around the world. It was in Australia, it's been over to England. This is Mark Valentine from Halifax, Mass., who does this. And it was something to see, and they put it up, the breeze was perfect, and I didn't see it, but somebody told me after, an eagle came and flew around them.
How cool is that?
So even if it didn't happen, it's a great story.
It is a great story. Let's stick with that.
So I want to, call out Matt Hall, Chief of Police, and Mike Slauson, Library Director, because they made this happen, and it was great. I enjoyed the dunk tank, along with Cheryl Davis, our Fire Chief, and Matt Hall, our Chief of Police, so that was fun. And I think I left around 5 o'clock. I had another engagement, but it looked like a lot of people had come, and it was just like Old Home Day.
More than last year?
I don't know if it was more, you would have to ask the chief. It was hard for me to tell, because I wasn't there the last 2 hours.
Okay.
But last year, I think we had over 500 people, so I'm not sure about this year.
That's great.
Were you there, Bree, later?
I just saw the flag. I did ask Mike on
Okay.
Sunday,
What did he say?
and he thought because it was extra time they added on to the event, that it seemed more spread out, but he thinks
It
it was
was
the
spread
same amount of
Yeah.
people. He said if you had shortened that, then it would have been.
It was great because, especially for the kids, the Girl Scouts were there, the Dennett was there, the Recreation Committee was there, Pays was there, the police with all their, Tim Cruz was there, et cetera, you know. So it was a fun time.
Good.
Flag was beautiful,
I bet the
Was
flag was.
Yeah.
very
Beautiful.
like,
Yeah,
That's my rave.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I think my rave is sort of an extension of that. The night out was wonderful. The bigger rave for the police and the fire department that are doing such a good job representing the town. And I think we like to think we are a little bit unique and different. And I think they do a really good job of emphasizing that. And relatively new police chief, relatively very new fire chief, and just a nice sense of departments that are moving forward in a creative and enthusiastic way. So appreciate that sort of rah-rah for the town.
Great. My rave is saying goodbye to Chief Silva, that how much I think we all appreciate what he brought to the town and the department with professionalizing things, and he will be missed. He did a really great job for the town, and then on the flip side, how exciting it is to have Chief Davis and some new ideas and new energy, and I think it's a pretty exciting time in public safety. We've got two young, very motivated
Cooperating.
people working together and bringing some fresh ideas to the town, so super exciting.
Yep.
Very good.
All right, so that is it for tonight. So we'll see you all again on the 28th. Have a great evening. With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye? You're already out the door. All right, good night.